Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon Perna. And the last 2 to 3 weeks of NFL-related news have been depressing. I just want a goddamn football game to happen so I can talk about touchdowns and fumbles and bad reffing. We've had Jameis Winston news, the Janoris Jenkins brother killing Janoris' friend, Adam Jones got in a fight today, and now some gruesome pictures were posted on Mia Boykin's Instagram account of a bloody and beaten woman named Delicia Cordon, I think I'm saying that right, who is Buffalo Bills running back LeSean McCoy's ex-girlfriend. In the Instagram post, Boykins blames LeSean McCoy for the attack, also claiming that McCoy beat his son and beat their dog and uses steroids. I think the NFL would have discovered the steroid use, but I'll dive into the rest of this increasingly complicated story. That's good sports, I guess. Please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you're already subbed, click the notification button. I can't tell you how much that helps me. And I do have a weekly That's Good Sports podcast. We're on Podbean, iTunes. There's a link in the description. Check it out on iTunes. Give me a good rating, because if you don't, it will die. Okay, these are very serious allegations for LeSean McCoy, and I have no idea if any are true. Mia Boykin, from her Insta post, is basically claiming that LeSean McCoy is the worst parts of Mike Vick, Greg Hardy, Adrian Peterson, and Barry Bonds, all combined into one deplorable supervillain. If any of these accusations are true, then the NFL should ban LeSean McCoy and he should be appropriately prosecuted in the criminal justice system. The system we have in place for handling these things. In the no shit category of news, LeSean McCoy is denying these allegations. The Bills running back put out a brief statement via the Notes app on his phone saying, "For the record, the totally baseless and offensive claims made against me today on social media are completely false. Furthermore, I have not had any direct contact with any of the people involved in months." I know McCoy typed that message himself because furthermore is actually just one word. I'm not sure why he used the Notes app and then took a screenshot of that and then posted that info on social when he could have just written it on Twitter or even on Instagram with some of their annoying GIFs and emojis, or their new questionnaire saying, "Do you think I'm innocent?" An Insta story proclaiming innocence seems just as disingenuous as a post with the Notes app. And there's no way his lawyer could have advised that. Yesterday, the accusations in the morning led us all to believe LeSean McCoy may have beat and attacked Miss Cordon himself. Then the news came out that she was attacked and targeted in a home invasion at 3 a.m., where specific pieces of jewelry were requested from her and that she sustained injuries to her wrist from the attacker ripping jewelry off of her. Then we learned McCoy was suing Cordon, his ex, because she would not leave the home that she was living and attacked in. Then I learned, and this is from a TMZ report, the assailant demanded specific items of jewelry that had been given to her by LeSean McCoy. Jewelry that McCoy had previously demanded she return to him, and that before the incident, McCoy would often suggest to Miss Cordon that she could be robbed because the jewelry was expensive. So if I can accurately describe this entire situation in one word, I'd say, fucked. Here are the facts from the case so far, okay? Miss Cordon was viciously attacked by someone who demanded jewelry from her. Cordon and McCoy have a contentious relationship. McCoy is in the process of suing her because she would not vacate one of his homes, and at one point, he sent guys over to her home when she was not there to move all of her stuff out. She saw the movement on her security cam via her phone, called the cops, who stopped the men from moving all of her stuff out of the house. Now, I actually wrote this episode yesterday, but after I shot it, a whole bunch of new info came out. Yesterday, I wanted to be very careful not to, one, crucify LeSean McCoy until we had more info or facts, and not to blame the victim in this case or accuse her of doing anything wrong, as many people on social media were doing. Neither is fair at this point, and after new info surfaced, I'm even more confused about what the hell happened here. So I'll lay it out, okay? Without judgment, these are possibilities. Scenario 1. Everything Miss Cordon has told the police and everything her friend said on Instagram is true about McCoy. And even though he did not beat Miss Cordon in this situation, it looks like based on his previously veiled threats that he could have hired somebody to do this to send her a message. I also want to know if the security system was on and that if it was deactivated by the attacker. Scenario 2, Miss Cordon and her friend hired the person themselves to beat her to make it look like McCoy would do anything to get her out of the house. The reason this could be a possibility is because I believe McCoy has been trying to get her out of his home for almost a year. And they were supposed to have a court appearance on Tuesday, which had been rescheduled, I think by McCoy for some reason. Also because this crazy ass scenario sorta just happened to Reuben Foster, linebacker for the 49ers, where a woman tried to extort him for money by claiming he attacked her. Again, those are two possible scenarios. One in favor of McCoy, one in favor of Miss Cordon. Scenario 3, and this is probably the most likely scenario in my opinion, some parts of this whole situation are accurate. I don't know which parts, so I'll keep my fucking mouth shut until we know more. But it doesn't look good for McCoy on many levels at this point. The thing to keep in mind here is Miss Cordon was beaten pretty bad, and that I hope this case can be investigated with integrity by the police and that a form of justice is served to everyone actually involved. The only people who know the truth are McCoy, Cordon, and the attacker, who has not yet been detained. Now, the New York Daily News pointed out that former NFL receiver Plaxico Burress commented on the original Instagram post, which has since been deleted as requested by Cordon's lawyers. Burress commented, "Stop telling lies to gain exposure for yourself, knowing damn well you lying." Yeah, great job there, Plaxico. And if that didn't change your mind about McCoy's involvement, maybe the kind words from the always honorable Richie Incognito might, who sent out a tweet saying, "Prayers up for my G. I know the whole story. You good to go, family. I love you, my G." I'm glad Richie Incognito learned to replace the N-word with just the letter G. He also responded to a tweet saying, "I support and stand by my boy, Shady. I know the full story and he didn't do it. People can be quick to make false assumptions without knowing the full story." Now, I can think of worse athletes coming to your defense. Right now, Brandon Browner, who might be facing a life sentence in prison. That's another episode, though. Greg Hardy, and worst of all, that lying Tom Brady. But Richie Incognito and Plaxico, I shot myself in a nightclub Burress, are not far behind on the list of people who shouldn't fucking say anything about this case. And for fuck's sake, Richie, don't use his nickname Shady in your tweets. Incognito, I believe, for this situation, coined the hashtag pray for Shady. No, that is like saying pray for the guy who is by definition of the informal use of the word shady, suspicious, suspect, questionable, dubious, untrustworthy, dishonorable. When we see the word shady, we do not imagine reprieve from the sun on a hot summer day provided by a large willow tree in a beautiful meadow intersected by a cool and soothing babbling brook. No, shady plus running back equals fucking O.J. Simpson. That's the image we get, Richie. Now, no sane person wants to see other people hurt or abused. I don't want to downplay the seriousness of what happened to this woman, especially if there is a history of domestic violence, child abuse, or animal abuse with LeSean McCoy. Any of those actions are that of a sick and dangerous person. However, we need to reserve judgment of all parties involved until we get more verified information, and I know that is hard these days. All I can hope for from this or of any similar case is that it is investigated properly with integrity and that the truth is discovered. Truth. That seems to be a harder and harder thing to determine today, especially on social media. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. I'm on Twitter at Brandon Perna. My website is ThatsGoodSports.com. We have football and sports news there, so check it out, and the podcast. Again, link in the description on Podbean. Could use your support.